Welcome the rare gems. When it comes to how Sigma females act around men, one thing is clear. They're a whole different breed. They don't follow the usual rules, and that's exactly what makes them so fascinating. And let's be honest, a little intimidating. Sigma females don't act out of desperation, insecurity, or a need to prove themselves. They're deliberate, grounded, and fully aware of their worth. They don't try to fit into anyone's expectations, they're busy creating their own. If you're a Sigma female, you already know that how you carry yourself around men isn't about playing games or following trends. It's about being unapologetically you, someone who values authenticity over appearances, depth over surface-level charm, and actions over empty promises. Men aren't a puzzle to you. They're just another part of the world you observe, analyze, and engage with when it suits you. This isn't arrogance, it's wisdom. It's knowing you don't need to change who you are to get validation. So keep owning that quiet strength. The right people will respect it, and the wrong ones will reveal themselves. Watch closely how men respond to you. It's always a reflection of them, not you. Stay sharp, stay true, and always trust your instincts. Number 1. They scan for authenticity like a lie detector. Sigma females have an almost uncanny ability to sniff out pretense. It's like they come equipped with an internal lie detector. Whether it's forced charm, exaggerated confidence, or a man trying just a little too hard to impress, they pick up on it instantly. And here's the thing, they don't need you to tell a bold-faced lie to know something's off. The smallest cracks, an overly rehearsed compliment, a laugh that lingers too long, or even a change in tone, are enough for them to spot inauthenticity. This isn't about being cynical or overly critical. Sigma females have finely tuned instincts because they've seen enough of the world to understand how often people wear masks. They're not looking for perfection, they're looking for real. If a man shows up trying to be what he thinks she wants rather than who he truly is, he's already failed her silent test. And yes, it's silent, because she won't call him out or make a scene. She'll just quietly file him under not worth my time and move on. What makes this so fascinating is that most men don't even realize they're being evaluated. Sigma females don't need grand gestures or long conversations to figure out who's authentic. They observe body language, listen to what's said and unsaid, and pay attention to how someone carries themselves. For men, this can be intimidating because Sigma females force them to show up as their genuine selves. Pretend to be confident when you're not? She'll see it. Try to win her over with empty words? She'll hear the hollowness. But if you're authentic, flaws, quirks, and all, you just might earn her respect. For Sigma females, authenticity isn't optional. It's the only language they speak. Number 2, they treat flattery as noise. For Sigma females, flattery is just background noise, pleasant to hear maybe, but ultimately forgettable. They don't fall for flowery compliments or over-the-top praise. In fact, a man gushing, "You're so beautiful," is more likely to earn a polite smile than genuine interest. Why? Because Sigma females value depth and intention, and generic compliments rarely hold either. To them, flattery often feels like filler, something people say when they don't know what else to say. It's not that they dislike compliments altogether, they simply don't put much weight on words that could apply to anyone. If a man's admiration isn't specific, authentic, and rooted in something deeper than appearances, it's wasted air. What catches their attention isn't what is said, but why it's said, and what's left unsaid. Sigma females are far more intrigued by subtlety and nuance. They notice when a man listens carefully, observes their actions, and makes thoughtful remarks about who they are rather than how they look. For example, a comment like, "I admire how you approach challenges," resonates far more than "you're so smart." The first shows observation and understanding, the second feels rehearsed. What truly impresses a Sigma female is action over empty words. If a man wants to stand out, he needs to back up his praise with consistency. Flattery might get her to look your way, but it's substance and authenticity that make her stay. For Sigma females, words without meaning are just noise, and they'd rather tune them out entirely than waste energy deciphering them. Number 3, they are disarmingly calm around intimidating men. Sigma females have an unshakable calm that sets them apart. especially when they're around so-called intimidating men, while others might falter under the presence of an alpha type, someone loud, commanding, or domineering. A sigma female remains utterly unbothered. She doesn't fidget, shrink, or feel the need to prove herself. Instead, she holds her ground with quiet confidence, radiating an energy that says, "I'm not playing this game with you." This isn't arrogance, it's clarity. Sigma females see through power dynamics for what they often are: an illusion, a show, a scramble for control that they find both unnecessary and uninteresting. They understand that true strength doesn't come from dominating others, but from mastering oneself. So when an alpha tries to assert his presence, she doesn't react, because to her, there's nothing to react to. This calm composure often disarms men who are used to commanding attention or evoking a response. They're left puzzled, even intrigued by her lack of submission or competition. An alpha might expect awe or deference, but instead he gets a level gaze and polite indifference. She doesn't challenge him directly. She simply refuses to be drawn into his orbit. The beauty of this behavior is how naturally it stems from the sigma female's independence. She doesn't feel the need to one-up anyone, nor does she feel the pressure to prove her value. She knows who she is, and no amount of bravado or external power can shake that. Her calm is her power, and it speaks louder than any display of dominance ever could. For men who thrive on intimidation, her presence is a challenge they never saw coming. Number 4. They mirror men to understand them. Sigma females have a unique way of understanding people, especially men. They mirror them. This isn't some calculated act of manipulation. It's a natural, almost instinctive way they analyze and decode someone's true character. By subtly reflecting a man's demeanor, speech patterns, or emotional energy, they're not trying to manipulate or flatter him. Instead, they're studying him, observing how he reacts to a version of himself. When a sigma female mirrors someone, it's like holding up a human mirror. She adjusts her tone, matches his pace, or even aligns with his conversational style. Not to win him over, but to see what's beneath the surface. Does he become more authentic, or does he double down on his persona? Does he reveal vulnerability, or does he hide behind bravado? These are the questions she's answering, and most men have no idea it's happening. The brilliance of this approach is its subtlety. By reflecting his energy back to him, she creates a space where he feels comfortable, sometimes even exposed without realizing it. His guard comes down, his mask slips, and his true nature begins to show. She's not studying his words, she's studying his reactions, his inconsistencies, and his ability to handle someone meeting him at his level. This mirroring is how sigma females decide whether someone is worth their time. If he thrives in this dynamic, showing depth, sincerity, and self-awareness, he might pique her interest. But if he falters, showing arrogance or insecurity, she's already categorized him as someone she won't engage with further. For sigma females, mirroring isn't about copying, it's about clarity. It's their quiet way of saying, "Show me who you really are." And trust them, they'll see right through any act. At number 5, they avoid traditional flirting. Sigma females have no patience for traditional flirting. The playful teasing, the coy glances, the overused pickup lines, it's all noise to them. They don't see the point in superficial games that dance around substance without ever really getting to it. Instead, they lean into meaningful interactions, engaging in conversations that challenge the mind and reveal the soul. For a sigma female, flirting is not about batting eyelashes or tossing compliments back and forth. It's about connection. She'll ask questions that dig deeper than the surface, challenging a man to think, reflect, and engage on a level he might not be used to. If he responds with empty chatter or tries to steer the conversation toward shallow topics, she's already moved on in her mind. What sets sigma females apart is that their approach isn't meant to confuse or intimidate. It's just who they are. They crave depth, and traditional flirting feels like a distraction from what really matters. To her, the way someone thinks and expresses themselves is far more attractive than a well-rehearsed compliment or a flirtatious smile. Men often misread this approach, thinking she's uninterested or even cold. But the truth is, if she's engaging you in a thoughtful conversation, She's giving you a chance to show what you're made of. If you can meet her at her level by being authentic, curious, and capable of deeper thought, you'll have her attention. If not, she'll dismiss you mentally before the interaction is even over. For Sigma females, flirting isn't about playing games. It's about finding out if there's something real to build on. And if a man can't keep up, she won't waste her time pretending otherwise. Number 6. They respect strength, but demand humility. Sigma females have a deep respect for strength, but it's not the kind of strength that comes from boasting or seeking validation. What attracts them is quiet, grounded confidence, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself to the world. They are drawn to men who are secure in their abilities, but who don't use their strength to dominate or belittle others. It's this rare balance of power and humility that truly captures their attention. Confidence is magnetic, but arrogance is a turn-off. Sigma females can sense when a man's confidence is rooted in insecurity or ego, and that's an immediate red flag. They have no time for men who try to inflate their worth through grandiosity or self-importance. To them, genuine strength isn't about making a spectacle of oneself. It's about having the inner assurance to stand firm without needing to prove anything. What makes a man truly appealing to a Sigma female is his ability to remain humble, no matter how successful or powerful he becomes. She values men who don't flaunt their achievements or use their status to gain approval. Instead, she respects those who recognize the value of others, who lift people up rather than putting them down. For a Sigma female, ego is the opposite of worth. It's a mask that hides true character. Strength, when paired with humility, reveals a man who is not only self-aware, but also emotionally intelligent. A man who carries power without arrogance and embraces his vulnerabilities is the one who truly earns her respect and attention. Number 7. Immunity to ego. Fluffing. If you're the type of man who's used to having people stroke your ego and feed into your sense of self-importance, a Sigma female is a wake-up call. She doesn't play the game of status or recognition. She couldn't care less about your title, your wealth, or the social clout you carry. For her, all those external markers are irrelevant. What truly piques her interest is substance, the kind of depth that comes from within. If you're hiding behind your accomplishments or hoping your resume will speak for you, she'll see right through it. A Sigma female is immune to ego fluffing. She's not impressed by the superficial layers that others may find alluring. She knows that true value lies in who you are beneath the surface, not in the accolades you've collected. This can be a shock to men who are used to being admired for their outward achievements. With a Sigma female, the attention shifts away from the external and onto the internal. She'll be more interested in how you think, what drives you, and whether you're genuinely authentic, not whether your job title sounds impressive or your social media following is through the roof. For her, the ego is a mask, and she's not interested in playing along. If you want her respect, you'll need to show up as your true self, without all the inflated facades. Only then will she be truly engaged, because it's the real, unfiltered version of you that catches her attention. At number 8. They are disarmingly calm around intimidating men. Sigma females have an unshakable calm that sets them apart, especially when they're around so-called intimidating men. While others might falter under the presence of an alpha type, someone loud, commanding, or domineering, a Sigma female remains utterly unbothered. She doesn't fidget, shrink, or feel the need to prove herself. Instead, she holds her ground with quiet confidence, radiating an energy that says, "I'm not playing this game with you." This isn't arrogance, it's clarity. Sigma females see through power dynamics for what they often are, an illusion, a show, a scramble for control that they find both unnecessary and uninteresting. They understand that true strength doesn't come from dominating others, but from mastering oneself. So when an alpha tries to assert his presence, she doesn't react, because to her there's nothing to react to. This calm composure often disarms men who are used to commanding attention or evoking a response. They're left puzzled, even intrigued, by her lack of submission or competition. An alpha might expect awe or deference, but instead, he gets a level gaze and polite indifference. She doesn't challenge him directly, She simply refuses to be drawn into his orbit. The beauty of this behavior is how naturally it stems from the Sigma female's independence. She doesn't feel the need to one-up anyone, nor does she feel the pressure to prove her value. She knows who she is, and no amount of bravado or external power can shake that. Her calm is her power, and it speaks louder than any display of dominance ever could. For men who thrive on intimidation, her presence is a challenge they never saw coming. Number 9. They quickly spot emotional weakness. Sigma. Females have an almost uncanny ability to spot emotional weakness in others, especially men. Whether it's insecurity, unresolved trauma, or emotional baggage, they can sense it, even when it's buried deep. It's not that they're actively looking for flaws or judging, it's just that their intuition is razor sharp, and they can read the subtle cues others miss. The way a man reacts to stress, the defensiveness in his tone, or even the way he struggles with vulnerability. Sigma females notice it all. What's striking is that they don't immediately condemn men for it. Instead, they categorize emotional weakness as something that signals a deeper issue, a lack of emotional maturity, or an inability to handle the independence and strength they possess. Sigma females value emotional resilience and stability in those they connect with. So if a man shows signs of insecurity or emotional instability, they know he might struggle with their need for space, freedom, and self-sufficiency. For many men, the idea of a strong, independent woman can be intimidating. Sigma females don't need validation or emotional support to feel whole. They are their own anchor. So, if a man's emotional baggage is too heavy for him to navigate, or if he can't handle her emotional autonomy, she'll recognize it early. This doesn't mean she'll discard him outright, but she'll keep her distance, mentally and emotionally. She understands that emotional growth takes time. But until a man can show he's secure enough in himself to respect her independence without feeling threatened, he remains a distant possibility, not a priority. For Sigma females, emotional strength isn't just a preference. It's a non-negotiable quality in anyone they let close. At number 10, they aren't afraid to walk away. One of the hardest truths for men to grasp when it comes to Sigma females is this: they are not afraid to walk away. In fact, they'll do it without hesitation if they feel disrespected, undervalued, or unfulfilled. There's no need for drama or long-winded explanations. When a Sigma female reaches her limit, she simply exits. This quality is what sets her apart from so many others who may endure toxic situations, hoping things will change. For the Sigma female, there's no waiting around for the right moment or expecting anyone to change. She knows her worth, and if a situation doesn't align with her values or needs, she doesn't hesitate to walk away. This can be unnerving for men, especially those who are used to being in control or accustomed to women who tolerate bad behavior for the sake of keeping peace. Men may find themselves chasing after her, trying to make up for lost time or fix what's broken. But by then it's too late. She has already moved on, mentally and emotionally. She's not seeking validation or a relationship for the sake of it. She values her peace, independence, and self-respect too much to settle for anything less. For a Sigma female, walking away is a silent, powerful statement. It's not about playing games or punishing anyone. It's about setting boundaries and honoring herself. If a man can't respect her worth or offer the depth she requires, she's gone, and that's something she'll never apologize for. Number 11. Holds men to higher standards. Sigma females don't settle for mediocrity, especially when it comes to the men they choose to engage with. They hold men to higher standards than most, and they don't tolerate weakness or laziness, whether it's in character or actions. For a Sigma female, charm and a flashy exterior may catch her attention momentarily, but they're not enough to keep it. She's not looking for someone who can simply talk a good game or impress her with a polished image. She wants substance, and she's quick to challenge the depth, intelligence, and integrity of anyone who tries to step into her world. A Sigma female doesn't expect perfection, but she does expect a man to show up with authenticity, self-awareness, and the ability to think critically. If you can't meet her standards, she won't waste her time trying to make it work. This can be intimidating for many men who are used to coast on charm or their status. But for a Sigma female, that's just the bare minimum. She expects you to be mentally engaged, emotionally mature, and to demonstrate character through your actions, not just your words. If you're not willing to rise to the occasion, she'll simply move on. She has no problem walking away from relationships that aren't fulfilling or aligned with her values because she knows she deserves more. In her world, complacency doesn't fly. If you want to be in her life, you have to meet her where she is. And that's a place of authenticity, strength, and uncompromising standards. In conclusion, in the end, how Sigma females act around men is rooted in one simple truth. They value authenticity, respect, and depth over everything else. They don't seek validation from others. They know who they are and what they stand for. They don't play games, settle for mediocrity, or tolerate anything that compromises their peace or integrity. Their actions, words, and energy all reflect a quiet confidence that commands respect without demanding it. Sigma females are powerful because they understand the importance of being true to themselves. They don't need to chase attention or feed into anyone's ego to feel validated. Their presence alone is magnetic because it's grounded in something real. They won't tolerate weakness, pretension, or inauthenticity, and they'll walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't align with their values. So if you're a Sigma female reading this, remember your worth. Never let anyone make you feel like you should dim your light or lower your standards to fit into someone else's narrative. You are not here to play by the rules that society has set for you. You're here to create your own path, unapologetically. And if you're a man trying to understand a Sigma female, recognize that the key to her respect lies in your authenticity and the substance you bring, not in what you think you can offer on the surface. Approach her with honesty, depth, and humility, and you'll see a connection that goes far beyond anything superficial. The world needs more women like Sigma females. Strong, authentic, and unwilling to settle for anything less than genuine connection. Embrace it. Own it. The world will catch up. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video. Bye for now, and God bless.